Hello everyone, so I have an update for you here on the IL-76 that crashed, or rather got shot down. First, another video here, released after I recorded my previous one. So this is the same clip, but a longer version. Here, you can see in the air, after the crash, what looks very much like a SAM explosion. So, this is definitely looking like the IL-76 was shot down rather than a crash. Whether by Ukraine or by Russian friendly fire, we don't know yet, but Ukraine is saying they did shoot it down. So it's looking like this was hit by a Ukrainian SAM, likely Patriot given the range, but we can't rule out other systems such as S-300. Now we also have some photos of the crash site shared by Null Reports on Twitter. This first one doesn't show us much, but you can see a few soldiers in the background inspecting the wreck. Here, though, a good view of the wreck itself. Now, you can see that the aircraft looks to be full of holes. This looks very much like shrapnel damage caused by a SAM missile exploding. We saw that not long ago with the Russian aircraft which was hit over the Sea of Azov, which had the same sort of damage to its tail. So, more evidence here pointed towards this being a SAM strike rather than some sort of accident. So, now we've got that out of the way, let's get to the more important stuff. Was this carrying Ukrainian prisoners of war, as Russia claims? So, for those who haven't seen it, Russia claims that this aircraft was heading to Belgorod to transport prisoners of war for an exchange. Well, you won't be surprised to hear that that is looking like complete and utter twaddle. The geolocation immediately discredits that claim. Watch this part of the video clip again, this time focusing on the direction the aircraft is heading in relation to the buildings that you can see. So it's going across the screen from left to right. Now we're going to switch to Google Maps. Now Blinsker on Twitter did the geolocation work here and did an excellent job as always. He does great work with the geolocation, probably the best I've seen. Now, this isn't the geolocation of the crash zone, but the geolocation of the person recording. So, as you can see, it completely checks out. This is the correct geolocation, no question about it. So here, put on a map. Now, in the screenshot below, the aircraft is highlighted, again, as we saw, heading from left to right as shown. Now check the map part. The path the aircraft is taking, from left to right, means that it's heading northeast at the time it was hit. Let's zoom out. So you can see this aircraft was going away from Belgorod, not towards it. This flight departed Belgorod and was heading further into Russia. Russia said this was a prisoner's transfer to Belgorod. And as you can see, the geolocation doesn't match. The aircraft clearly flying away from Belgorod when it's hit. And there's absolutely zero reason for Russia to have prisoners in Belgorod and transfer them further into Russia, especially when we claim these prisoners were due to be exchanged. Now, let's have a further look. This is reported as being the aircraft down today, RA78830. This departed Iran today, as seen on flight scanning websites. It arrived in Iran on the 23rd from Moscow and departed Iran today, January the 24th, to Belgorod. So again, Russia's claim doesn't stack up. Ukrainian prisoners of war won't be kept in Iran, so a plane heading from there to Belgorod won't be carrying prisoners. It was carrying something else from Iran to Belgorod, likely weapons, then departing Belgorod en route somewhere else, likely Moscow, and was then hit by a missile. Russia's claims that this had Ukrainian prisoners on board is likely an attempt to just stop Ukraine from targeting other transport aircraft in the future because of the possibility of prisoners being on board them. Now, this document has been shared online claiming to show the prisoners on board being shared as a flight list. This list is clearly made after the incident. Now, to be sure I've had this correct, I've had a online translator translate it, a sort of AI app, and I've also had it confirmed by a Ukrainian speaker. So the top title says, List of 65 Ukrainian prisoners of war who were on board the IL-76. Now, does that heading there stick out to you at all? Anything odd about it? Well, the word in that title here uses the past tense. Were on board the IL-76. This is clearly a document put together after the incident, not an official flight list made beforehand of the prisoners due to be transferred and that sort of thing. This is likely a list of Ukrainian prisoners who died in Russian captivity. Not necessarily by something nefarious, it could be wounded who passed away because of their injuries, and then put on this list to make it seem like this aircraft was carrying Ukrainian prisoners of war. So this document is false, clearly written after the incident because of the title. They've made the mistake here of using the past tense. Well done, Russia. Finally, Ukraine's claim that S-300 missiles were on board. Since we've gone over Russian misleading information, it's only fair to do Ukrainian too. I find this claim to be unlikely. As we saw, this aircraft was heading away from Belgorod, and I can't see any reason why Russia would have S-300s on a plane heading from Belgorod. S-300s are needed in Belgorod. It's a key city which needs protecting, and Ukraine hits it a lot. So, I just can't see Russia removing S-300 missiles from here. Nor are S-300 missiles produced here, so it won't be freshly made off-the-shelf stock from a factory. And I also think roads would most likely be used by Russia to move its S-300 missiles around. Now, I do think it probable that the initial flight may have had S-300 missiles coming from Iran. That makes sense. But given the flight's direction now, this aircraft had likely already dropped them off at Belgorod, took off again, and that's when Ukraine had hit it, when the S-300s had already been dropped off at Belgorod airport. I just can't see any reason for S-300s to be on a flight from Belgorod going presumably towards Moscow. Plus, whilst this plane crashed with a big fireball, to me, it didn't look big enough for a plane carrying S-300 missiles too. And so far, in the few photos we have of the crash site, there's no real appearance yet of anything which could be a destroyed S-300 missile. I don't think that is true. Now, before we finish this video, let's have a look at the coverage and see if Ukraine could hit it with a SAM system. Now, I did cover this in the past video which I did, the original one, but for those who missed it, here it is again. So you can see this aircraft came down quite away from the Ukrainian border, so it could only be Patriot or S-300 that hit it. And as you can see though, a Patriot SAM launcher near Kharkiv could feasibly reach this aircraft. And Patriot has been authorised for use over Russia. We've seen that in the past. Last year, Patriot was used to down 5 Russian aircraft. I believe, if I remember right, it was 3 helicopters, a Su-34 and a Su-35. These were over the Bryansk region of Russia, so Patriot is allowed to be used to hit military targets over Russia itself. So I think that's definitely the case here. So that's it for this video. So the geolocation of the flight and the crash just don't add up with what Russia says here. Unfortunately though, it has been an effective lie. Russian shills, of course, are running with it. And unfortunately, mainstream media sources, who you'd expect to do better, are bizarrely taking Russia at the word and running with this as well. When it's clear from the geolocation, it just doesn't stack up as being true. I mean, you'd have thought the mainstream media by now would learn not to take Russia at their word, after the claims that nothing was damaged at Novo-Fedorivka, the Moskva hasn't sunk, all the missiles targeting the Askhold were shot down, and the list goes on and on and on and on and on. So, quite a lot of twaddle to go through here. Now, let's check out something that isn't twaddle. Here's a video about the ongoing fundraiser which is nearing its end now for Yegor, who we've raised money for in the past. Is raising money at the moment for FPV drone training and provided this video to help the fundraiser go along. I'll play the translated video first and then also the original. So thanks very much for watching and take care everybody.
Вітаю!
I am Lion, a fighter of 3rd Assault Brigade. Lately, you might have heard that the war has reached stalemate. Perhaps it's true for some, but not for me and my brothers in arms. Every day, we fight using new technologies and means of struggle, constantly improving our tactics. I urge you to join in supporting our UAV unit to help simplify our fight. Also, I want to express my special gratitude to the YouTube channel Suchominos. Glory to the nation.
Вітаю! Я Олег, боєць 3-ї окремої штурмової бригади. Останнім часом ми могли чути, що війна зайшла в глухий кут. В якійсь мірі це так, але не для нашої бригади, не для мене з побратимами. Кожного дня ми боремося, застосовуючи нові технології та засоби боротьби, постійно вдосконалюючись. Прошу долучитися до підтримки нашого підрозділу БПЛА, аби трішки упростити нашу справу. Хочу виразити окрему подяку YouTube каналу Suchominos. Слава нації!